Good evening, Seth Davis here, personal trainer in Manteca, California. Talking a little bit about the sport of football and injuries that football could cause. Obviously, being a brutal sport, things can get really physical and you could get hurt in many different ways. There's three major issues of injuries that we're going to talk about tonight, and that's with our PCL, our hamstring, and several types of ankle sprains. These can happen from many different things. A few outside factors are bad playing surfaces if the fields are uneven, potholes, so on and so forth. The age of an individual. So, a 10-year-old is going to heal a lot quicker than per se a 35-year-old individual. So an age could cause a factor, and then also some weather. So if we're in super cold conditions and we're not warming up properly, it could cause some injuries and issues. So first, what we're going to talk about is an injury with our PCL, and this could typically happen for an athlete or a football player when their foot is face down and they get a major jolt or an injury abruptly to their knee. So what we want to do is to prevent these injuries. There's a couple different types of workouts that we want to do. And first one we're going to do, 3 sets of 10 about twice a week, is a walking lunge. So my partner here is going to do a walking lunge for us, just being in an athletic position, and we're just going to step forward, boom, a nice big step forward, good, just right there. We don't want to retract. What we want to do, we want to walk, so they're going to be simultaneous steps forward, boom, we don't, and that's good. And then hold it for me right there, okay? And we want to make sure that we're at a good 90 degree with our knee, and then we want our back knee to come and barely touch the ground. Okay, go ahead, good, up again. Okay, that's good. So like I said, what we want to do with those, we want to do three sets of 10. We want to make sure that we're keeping our body in a good angular position. We don't want to be falling over. We want to be controlling ourselves. And then a rehabilitation workout. After any type of injury, we have to get better. So after we rest, ice, compression, elevation, and then we want to repeat that situation. We're going to end up getting into some workouts. So a couple different rehabilitation workouts are quad sets and wall sits with the ball. What we're going to do right now, we're going to do a quad set. So what we're going to have you do, we're going to have you sit on the floor, Susan, and we're going to have your injured leg. So we're going to say her injured leg is her left leg. We're going to have your injured leg straight, okay? And then what I want you to do is you're going to press the back of your knee, okay, down to the ground, okay, and we're going to tighten up, okay, our quad here. And then what that's going to do, we want to do that, we want to hold it for 10 seconds. We're going to do 2 sets of these at 15 apiece for 2 times a day, and we just really want to make sure we're tightening our muscles, and it's really strengthening back in our PCL and in our joints. Okay, go ahead, you can stand up for me. Another big time injury, especially in football, any type of athletics, but with our football, is our hamstring strains. And in the back of our hamstring, there's multiple muscles that make up our hamstring. So it could be a variety of muscles that are in the back tearing. So a couple things that we want to do to strengthen these would be a glute bridge or a lunge with a twist. We worked on the lunge with the twister, or a regular lunge earlier, so we're going to get into our glute bridge. So what I want you to do is lay flat on your back for me. Yeah, good. And our palms right there on our side. Okay, and then we're just, what we want to do, we want to just raise our pelvis into the air. Boom. And then we're just going to hold it for about 10 seconds. Back down. Up again. And hold. Good. Back down. So we just really want to, now you can stand, we just want to really make sure we strengthen our glutes. Now another rehabilitation thing. So especially with the hamstring, okay, a lot of people feel that when you get a strain or something on a muscle, what you want to go do right away is boom, you want to stretch it. That's the last thing we want to do. What we want to do first, we want to ice it. If we're going to say a hamstring is already strained or torn, we don't want to then boom then tear our muscles even more. So we want to at least wait up to 7 to 10 days. So one of our rehabilitation workouts, we're going to do what's called a hamstring heel dig. So you could sit down again for me. And we're going to take our affected leg, so our left leg here, and it's going to be bent. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to keep it here at a 90 or at a 45-degree angle, and we want to dig and we want to push with our heel and push our heel into the ground. That's working our hamstring, and we want to do this 4 sets of 12 twice a week on our rehabilitation. We don't want to overwork it. We just want to make sure we're giving ourselves enough. Okay, good. You stand up. We won't be sitting back down. And then so our final one is our ankle. So there's multitude types of ankle sprains, but what we want to do, we want to ensure that we are strengthening those to help prevent them. Another thing, especially playing on different types of surfaces or playing in the game of football, you're at bottom of the piles, you get twisted on, you get rolled on. So we want to ensure if any times that we can, if we have athletic trainers in the facilities, we want to ensure that we're taping ankles, wearing ankle braces, making sure our shoelaces are properly equipped and tied, or if we're making sure we're wearing the proper cleats. So a preventative workout, instead of just doing a normal calf raise, if we're sitting on a weight or a machine, we like to do standing calf raises. So what we'll have you do, Susan, is just keep your feet good, and then just do simply up on our tiptoes. Boom. We'll do 4 sets of 15 of these twice a week. If we're not doing them with weight, we can, or if we're on like a side of a curb or a 2x4 or a plank, and then that's just giving us more leverage going down, giving us more range of motion in our ankles. Okay, good. Now, that's good. Now I'll have you sit down, and then so working on a rehabilitation workout. Again, this is all after our ricer, our resting, our icing, our compression, our elevation, and then we're repeating the cycle. What we will do, so her left ankle is the one with the sprain, so we'll have her put a straight leg out, and then we'll just simply, with the top of our toes, we're just going to have her do the alphabet. So from A to Z, and we will work on that. We will do that 3 times a week, going through the alphabet twice. We want to be capital letters with all of this. So those are our 3 main injuries that we focused on with football, the more common ones. Definitely there's tons more injuries within football, but we want to ensure that we're preventing any type of injuries and we're rehabilitating things correctly. Thank you very much.